If I could tell my 13-year-old self anything,
I'd basically reassure him that everything's gonna be okay.
Keep on holding on to the idea of really knowing yourself one day.
And that it gets better with time.
Realize that I don't have to figure it all out immediately.
To just be okay with who he is.
And just because you like girls doesn't mean you aren't one.
I mean, I'd probably give him the preview and be like, you're bisexual, you know,
When I was younger, I had no idea what was going on. I was it's not normal, and I know I'd watch commercials on TV where it'd be pretty girls and I'd be just uncomfortable, but I wouldn't know what it was, and I was just oh, there's probably something just wrong with me.
Junior year is when I kind of started coming to terms with all of it at once and being okay, this is a part of me and I kind of have to start confronting it. And that sent me down a mental health rabbit hole of being at the lowest that I had ever been, and then I came out of it and I felt like I had survived a war, you know, in my own head.
I think once I accepted it in myself, before I told anyone, I was pretty against it, and I felt pretty lonely because I really wanted it to just go away.
I literally prayed. At night, sometimes I'd pray. I'd be please God, make this go away.
Being bi is definitely one of those things that has affected how I view myself, especially with the internalized homophobia, which really started getting to me at a really young age.
The risks of coming out are being socially ostracized from the peer group, from the family of origin in some cases.
There's a lot more reconciliation, I think, with the love, the genuine love I have for my parents, and the feedback I kind of constantly get from them that it's not okay to like girls.
I still don't talk about it with my mom necessarily. It's not something that I am open to talking about with her.
My identity as a bi girl has definitely made my coming of age process take a lot more time, I think. I mean, the kind of homophobia that my parents has it's not a political thing, you know. It's a very personal thing that runs very deep, to the extent that I just don't see myself ever coming out.
My own coming of age was just learning how to accept myself for who I was, and learning about my own self-worth, learning that I matter, you know, in the world, and that I'm not this insignificant human being.
It's not just being not straight, it's specifically for me being bi, because I can't just be one or the other. When I really think about it, I'm I can't control it, but I have such an instinct to control it.
Growing up, I was pretty in touch with my feminine side, but not necessarily my masculine side. I had always felt this pressure to be more like a guy, and it stressed me out that I wasn't.
Having to negotiate questions of identity in general as a teenager is a painful process, and having to hide one's identity is an added difficulty.
Now, people are kind of becoming more aware of it. People are talking about it more, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the stigma has changed or that people are going to act treat you normally.
As the social pressures and prejudice have become less pronounced in the society, more people are now coming out as bisexual, especially younger people, and that in younger generations seems to be much more acceptable these days that one is bisexual and will remain bisexual throughout their life.
Guys think it's really hot if a girl is bisexual, and that kind of bothers me, because it's if I ever want to be in a relationship with a guy, I have to be careful.
In the media, at least, it's more socially acceptable for girls to come out as bisexual or like anything, just because it's kind of sexualized.
It's important to remember that we do have a lot of freedom, that still people need a lot of support.
I hope that I can be like comfortable with myself, especially in like other places in the world. I think I like want to be able to pass it on, be able to tell people like it's gonna be okay. Like you're not what these people are telling you to, and in a couple of years you'll see that. And I hope that, I mean, I can be happy.
I hope that I will just find someone that I love and that that person will love me too, and it doesn't matter if they're a girl or boy.
I do hope that I'll be able to be more comfortable with my bisexuality, and I can't even say the whole word. I can't say like I'm bisexual because it just feels so ridiculous. I hope one day that I can say it.